Hello ladies and gentlemen, hi guys and girls. Today I will show you how to hand build a 1x2x3 out of 3x3 parts. Actually, in a 3x3 there are 6 center pieces and center caps, 8 corners and 12 edges. For a 1x2x3 we will need 4 of the edge pieces and 2 of the center pieces. So we could theoretically make 3 1x2x3s while still having all of the 8 corner pieces left. So we could build 4 1x1x2s if we really want to. For this build we will need some kind of filling material. I've used milliput in the past, but I think I will attempt to use epoxy sculpt today. Then we will need small files. These are called key files, in German at least. And of course a 3x3 cube. Then 240 grit sandpaper for finishing touches and 60 grit sandpaper just for rough sanding. Some black acrylic spray paint, and it's also mandatory for this build that you have some kind of Dremel or multi-tool where you can sand, basically. You can also have a drill press, but yeah, I think you're most likely going to have one of these at home instead of the drill press. I already made some 1x2x3s in the past. These are some pieces of a 1x2x3 Fisher cube. And you can see the mechanism we want to copy pretty clearly. So we want to have pieces like this and then a centerpiece like that. And I already tried to do that on 2 of the pieces. So this here was originally a centerpiece, so we can take the center cap here off. And I grinded in these grooves here. And for the edge piece, I filled all of the holes up and then sanded this part into the mechanism like this. So these pieces should go together. So here we have the 2 center pieces now. We can put the cap back on for both of them and then start working on our 4 edge pieces right here. So I will now take one of these edge pieces and basically remove this part here of the mechanism. And I will do it on the full side and not on the hollow side. For the 1x1x2, we just have to take the corner piece and cut off the mechanism completely. So that it looks something like this. Then we can also sand down these surfaces and start extending this little bit in here. I will now use 60 grit sandpaper to clean this piece up just on the back side here. Now we have to prepare our parts for filling, so I will use the Dremel and just roughen up the surfaces around here, because we will extend the centerpiece into the size of a cubie, so that it has the same height of a cubie, like this. And for this part we have to sand all of the surfaces inside here so that the filler sticks better. Alright, so we need to fill up our pieces now. So I will just take both parts here in equal amount of weight and not volume. There are some differences. And then fill up all of the pieces. Alright, the epoxy sculpt is mixed up. Let's take one of the edge pieces, some epoxy sculpt, try to roll it up a bit, just like that, and then put it in there. We have to make sure that we fill up all the way back to this corner here, or here at the front, so that basically we can sand it flat and it looks like this on the back. So we want to have a full QB worth of filling material. And just extend up like this. And we're also making sure we're having at least one length, one width of a QB. And another thing I want to try out for these pieces, because we're using epoxy sculpt, we could basically harden the pieces quicker by putting them in the oven. I attempted this for the milliput already, but wasn't satisfied with the results. So let's just put this thing here in the oven. Okay, so here we have our freshly baked cookies, QBs, and it looks like that the pieces hardened out pretty well. So they were half an hour in the oven, had 50 minutes to cool down now. For the edge pieces, we only sanded down the outside surfaces and left this here intact. I will now, as always, really cut out the chunk of 60 grit sandpaper here and then wrap it around a metal ruler I have and then start sanding down all of these surfaces here. And here we have one of the edge pieces. And here it is basically cleaned up. So it looks pretty even to me. Now we just have to form this mechanism part into this mechanism part right here. Now that the top part of the rounded mechanism part here is finished, we can go in with our file like this and just sand away until we get the inner mechanism part down to this thickness. Here we have the pieces now after sanding. So these are two of the edge pieces, original edge pieces of the 3x3. Mechanism part is completely sanded as we wanted to. The drill bit broke. It's the next day, it's Monday now, and I can now replace my drill bit that broke. Okay. So basically, this is how our part looks like now in a bit bigger size. And I will just measure out everything here now. So let's see. Alright, now I'll draw everything onto these center pieces here so we can get a better look, and then I will remove the plastic. Okay, so I marked everything on the center piece. Looks something like this. And all of the parts that are painted black we will have to remove. So if we hold the piece against it here, looks pretty okay, I think. We are about halfway there now. So here is one centerpiece with two of the corners in there. See how nicely I drilled this hole right here? Yeah, I will just have to widen this up a bit so that it's really in the middle, and then we can carry on. So here we have the two halves of the puzzle now. I think they turned out pretty good. They don't look exactly the same, but I think we can work with that. So I will now remove these center caps here and try to assemble the puzzle with just a screw. Alright, here we have the first look at the puzzle, 1 by 2 by 3. Let's see if it turns. Alright, I think with my last step I overdid it a little bit and the puzzle became very shaky. But at least we can turn it now. Alright, so sadly the puzzle still is very loose, but I think with the spray paint and everything we can get it a bit tighter. So I think that's okay for a complete hand-built puzzle. So I will go over these pieces with 240 grit sandpaper now, like this, and then prepare everything for spray painting. Alright, so I rounded off all of the pieces a little bit, sanded with 240 grit sandpaper, and also took basically the corner pieces, removed the mechanism and filled this little bit up for two pieces. And then I just took the corner caps, put the screw through it and tightened it, so we can basically just stick them in there to have the 1 by 1 by 2. Here we have the finished spray painted pieces, but I will just let these dry a little bit and cut stickers first. Also, I have some new stickers, so I'm going to use this sheet of yellow today, then this orange, then this red, this blue. I want to go for dark green, and of course white. Here we have the two puzzles fully assembled now and the stickers cut. So I will quickly sticker the puzzles and then give you a showcase. And here we have the two finished puzzles. Just a quick reminder, if you want to try to build these yourselves, then please use normal sized 3x3 cubies because the puzzle is very fragile. And yeah, I should have used bigger cubies. Here is the 1 by 1 by 2. And the 1 by 2 by 3. And also, these puzzles are far from being perfect, so I just wanted to show that you can build funny little puzzles just with some spare 3x3 parts. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching.